speaking of making the work, Squatic finally making some inroads here on behalf of.
Absolutely gets in the back. Shadows.
Oh my god. Hello?
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 Uh-oh.
Hello?
Blur? Hello?
I don't think there's time. They're not gonna get back in touch. Somebody notices, no?
33% to a bomb, but BDSM with 4 ultimates of their own. This next fight.
They can follow up a little bit of aggressive. This protector could be used. I think this is everybody. He does!
An anti-nade came through, and as much as we saw, this is dirty. Oh
Yeah,
no.
Alti, I'm popping it on everyone. The long spawns in Overwatch.
Wow.
Actually. It looks like look at kill talk. Oh my god! Look at triple. I need coming out. Terrible. Try and take up the let's get it. Oh, here's a kill. All right, I'm like so far out of the center of my frame. Anyways, guys, welcome back to the Mettlestate Overwatch August Cup. As you guys can see, it's a little bit of a change of plans. Unfortunately, some issues with the Beastie Boys Again squad means they cannot field a full team. And so that means they are, as far as I'm concerned, forfeiting that match against their parent team, unfortunately. So we won't be covering the grand finals here. We will instead, since we promised you something, bring you the third place match rather, which is taking place between Enigma and Thomas More College. So obviously this is our third Enigma match in a row. But the first time we'll be seeing TMC today, so that should be exciting. My name, of course, is Sun Phoenix, and I'm joined once again. We end as we began here with Defect. Welcome.
Hello, I'm back, and I'm so glad that we didn't have to cast Beastie Boys versus Beastie Boys and say the word Beastie Boys 100 billion times.
Yeah, nothing against the two teams involved. It's just that the naming, the nomenclature is just not very natural. A little bit frustrating.
Gonna have to go practice my.
Exactly. We didn't do the correct warm-ups before the cast, so unfortunately, disappointed we won't be covering the grand finals. But this should be an interesting matchup nonetheless. Beastie Boys, no, unlearn that. Enigma taking on TMC here. So why don't we take a quick look at the Enigma squad, which we now are so familiar with, and then we'll have a look at their opponents. So looking at Enigma here, it is going to be Blur on the main tank, Vertigo on the off tank, Assassin JDB, and Jellydoodle on the DPS. Fluffy and Z-Time back in here. Slade is around, so we should expect to see him a bit later, but it will be Z-Time starting off here on the first map. Any thoughts on this quickly, Defect, before we move on?
I managed to catch some of the previous match where everything was playing, and Z-Time pulled their weight. So not like, look, no shade to Slade or to Tox, the two he's replacing, but if they take losses here, they can't blame it on this.
Yes, yeah.
So
at least not exclusively.
At least not exclusively, yes.
I think we can't. It's hard to tell the effect Tox is having inside the Discord chat, but gameplay wise, Z-Time was definitely not dragging them down by any sense of the imagination.
Yes.
Right, so let's take a look at their opponents here. Our first look at TMC in quite a long while. It is going to be Deadly Kitten and Rail on the tanks, Dobby and Shadow. Shadow number 3 or 4 in the community, I think. We've got so many shadows.
Almost as many phoenixes.
Almost, not quite as many shadows as there are phoenixes, but as we know, the phoenix is the superior being under almost any circumstance, so really not that surprising. And then we've got Mole and Ronin, not to be confused with the old Ronin, aka Lazarus I'm casting my mind way back in effect. The old Lazarus from Goliath Gaming fame, but excited to see how these guys perform. Any of these names stand out to you, Defect?
I'll be honest, like this is a school squad, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
And I'm like super keen to see like more like, a high school level Overwatch and esports in general just take off. So I, as much as I like Blur and Vertigo and Jitty and all those our fellow admins as well as close friends, I want to see the school children kick some ass. So I'll be rooting for Thomas More throughout.
Yeah, I mean, just for the underdog story, because let's be honest here, Defect, on paper, we're expecting Enigma to take this one fairly comfortably.
Yeah. This is going to be much more of a David and Goliath in the favor of Enigma. So hopefully there's a couple of stones in their sling, but that remains to be seen. So
we'll have to wait and see, as you say. Guys, this is a best of 5. We're pretty much ready to jump into the maps here. It is going to be Lijiang Tower to start things off. We haven't seen Lijiang Tower today. Map pool's been quite nice in the sense that we've got a pretty good spread of maps. We haven't seen a repeated map yet, but in theory, if we get to map 5, we could see Ilios again. It's going to be Hollywood up second, Hanamura, Route 66, and then, as I said, Ilios to close things out. So, should be an interesting series here, and Lijiang Tower defect the map like most of the other control maps.
Yes, depending on by what you mean is that they differ vastly depending on which one of the three.
Exactly.
Some of them leading quite towards a more like open, like Farah gameplay on Gardens, for example. Night Market has a more, we've been seeing those Symmetra strats with the teleporter to get you through the little top window, which is always cute. And I definitely did not mess up a teleporter in Pride Cup. And then lastly, like honestly, one of my favorite maps is sure, now the name escapes me. Server Room.
Yes, sure. Server. Sure. No. Server Room is a part of the map. It's called Control Center.
Control Center. Okay. Excuse me.
Sorry. I knew it the whole time. I didn't have to like dig deep into my.
I just
files.
Confused you. Yeah. No, but with Control Center, it is such a a May Reinhardt map where you want to like get in and brawl with like Reapers and all types of close range stuff. You sometimes see a Junkrat as well. So I like it the spread. It makes for a nice like variety of gameplay depending on what you see, and it is like one of those maps that are difficult to prep for because even if you're favored, you don't know which you're gonna get. You might have a very good brawl, but a very bad like an open Farah style. But then you're struggling against, depending on how the bracket breaks, essentially. So, always exciting to see. Always, you see teams having to lean on their most diverse play styles, and you can't put in your specialist players. So, super exciting.
And that specialist player, as you mentioned, is actually quite a key for this match, in the sense that Enigma's been swapping between Z-Time and Slade quite a lot, at least when Slade is available. So, when to run that Lucio versus the Mercy is a key question that I think is going to be interesting to see how Enigma answers that. We do have a bit of a sub here, which is weird to say since the match hasn't actually started, but we've got Yurts coming in here for Ronin, I believe, in the support role. It's the same person, apparently. He just likes to frick with me by changing his name for no reason. Maybe it's not the same person.
Who knows? It'll be a mystery. For now, we'll just call them Yurts. And
I'll have to keep an eye on chat and see when Trizzle confirms whether it's the same person. Trizzle question, is Yurts and the guy Ronin the same person? We'll have to wait and see, but we are jumping into Lijiang Tower now, guys, and it's going to be Defect Night Market to start us off.
Yeah, this is, I think, the map that lends itself to the most diversity of comps. Like, you'll usually see what's become popular recently is the Symmetra rollout, which is kind of cute, and it lends itself to like long-term Symmetra play. If you win the first fight, you're going to stay on the Symmetra. But very often you'll see that the losing team swaps off the Symmetra and plays a completely different comp. So so you get to see like quite a spread here, and this is a map that leans more towards comfort picks. Like, you can play the Lucio, boop, go around the side with a Farah type thing, or you can like Reinhardt up and get everyone in a line and like chug down mid. So all these strategies are valuable and viable on this one. I'm just gonna break the fourth wall here. Defect cast off the dirty feed because the sync is a tiny bit off, so off the Discord feed. All right, will do. So we do see the ball to start things off here as he moves through. Immediately gets rid of all those pesky sentries on the front line here. I'm casting in the future. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. As now you can see where we are. This Blurry tries to make his way through. Going to come back through now. Power drive over the top. A lot of damage. A huge anti-nade. Great combo from Enigma. There's Vertigo. Gets that opening pick. Blur now. And this Farah is going to be such a tough ask for Team C to deal with. He's tracked down the McCree. The boop into the kill. Reinhardt isolated here all by his lonesome.
Deadly Kitten gonna have to try and get out of there. Won't be successful. Enigma gonna take control of the first point.
Yeah, and I like what you see here is that most teams are falling straight into the we are going to put the teleporter up with the Symmetra, and Enigma immediately goes like, okay, what counters that? Well, we're going in on the ball, so we're going to crush all the turrets, and we're going to the Pharah. We're just going to poke you from the sides. Like if you're on point, cool. There's windows everywhere, and there's rockets coming through every single window. So immediately also a swap up here from Thomas More, dropping who left the Symmetra left for a McCree.
Seems right. Dobby under pressure here, but they got the opening pick onto Vertigo. Assassin gets through turn, but they've lost Jelly as well. So pretty good start here for Thomas More College, but they stuffed into the hole here. If they want to open the sprinkler here, Assassin, could be a lot of damage that pushes through, and they're kind of being forced back now. A minefield from Blur, keeping TMC stuffed in and pushed back. So Enigma, tough start, but using the ultimates pretty effectively.
I think the key here is to put pressure on the ball.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of times the ball keeps engaging and getting out with like 500 HP still left.
Yeah.
And that just means that everyone has more space, not just the ball who's constantly re-engaging.
Oh,
huge.
And I mean, you just see what Enigma's plan is. Oh my god, all 6 on the kill feed at once. Assassin JDB, no doubt to who won that team fight, and
well
a little bit of a
deserved,
jig at the end of that one. Yep, absolutely well deserved. But you could see what happened there. Jelly Doodle came in the back line, tickled Mole just a tiny bit, distracted him, and Assassin on the front line, no lamp to be found. He just executed everyone with the sprinkler.
Yeah, and that speaks to like this much more of it's a team that can play together apart. Where they're much more coordinated, while not being like on the same target necessarily, and that takes a lot of comms. Ooh.
To the front of the shield there, not going to find anything on this occasion. Blur dropping 350 HP, not really an issue for a hero like the ball. Graviton Surge comes out, Delicate can just swing in now. So TMC going to use their ultis to try and take some control back in this match. They've got control of the point, but have they won the team fight? Who's left in the mix here? And Anna poking DK in the back here, not Donkey Kong, Deadly Kitten, as now the self-destruct comes through Dobby. I think that was his friend. No, it wasn't. They have the Zarya. Deadly Kitten has gone down, and now so is the Zarya Rail. Not going to be contributing any more to this team fight. Dobby now under pressure, taken down. So all of a sudden, heroes come back for Enigma and force their way into a team fight victory here. Deadly Kitten, not even the barrage needed to take him down. And Enigma looking strong to start us off here.
Poor Deadly Kitten is just like, oh, I got a touch. Like, I can't put my shit up or anything.
Yeah, team?
Good mod check, team. Can I get a pronoun check on Deadly Kitten? Are they
no idea. I think it's a male. A he.
Well, I'll use they, them until
yeah, fair.
Yeah, no. So look, you can definitely see that the Pharah like poke comp with the blur disruption roll through worked quite well against trying to Thomas More trying to set up on point. They never really got there, and when they did, they got picked apart quite easily. But now this is Control Center, as you reminded me so lovely. Thank you. And now we're setting up for a more Ryan v Ryan's. We're going to see who's the better Ryan. Spoiler is Blur, but
whoa. Slow down there, cause the bias, but I can't say I disagree. Blur dropped straight off the bat. I think he heard you and he wanted to just make you look like an idiot.
Cast the Blur, I'm sorry.
DB comes in the backline there, won't find anything just yet. A lot of pressure onto DK's shield as now they push forward without Blur. It doesn't seem like they need Blur in this team fight as they look to get rid of the opposing main tank. They do just that. Now Vertigo wants to assert her authority on the off-tank battle. Not going to be able to do that just yet. It's Z time from the backline, doing all the damage. Blur rejoins the fray, and with that, Rocket Hammer swings through Thomas More College and is going to allow Enigma to take control of this point.
Oh, that was another mod check team moment with Deadly Kitten being far to the front.
They had just respawned, right? So
yeah, but they moved out of they charged out of spawn and died for it. So unfortunate. Yeah, I like the way that the team operated without Blur. They kind of used one of those billboard sign things that are on the sides.
Yeah.
And it's just like, who needs it? Like, this is our tank now. This sign cannot be shot through, so... We'll just use that as cover.
What are we watching here? Assassin JDB right outside the spawn.
Touching the spawn
with the
door.
meteor hammer, it's meteor strike, sorry. As now he gets back, they've lost Deadly Kitten once again, and this is where it starts to get really, really tough for the attacking team. Okay, neutralizes that one, no issue there. Blur says, thank you very much. It gets really tough if you're Thomas Moore here, right? It's so hard to push through this point, and Enigma haven't really looked like they're going to make any mistakes in this match today.
Yeah, they're playing pretty clean, and one of the easiest ways to break through this would have been the Junkrat tire, but like...
Okay, that is a grab combo if I've ever seen one, the grab dragon. They get so many picks, but they haven't picked Vertigo. She's got a big Symmetra shield in front of her. She's all by herself though, she has to get back, but the way the spawns work out, the opponents will get there long before Enigma does. So yeah, TMC now with a bit of space to move on forward. They're going to do that behind Deadly Kitten here. Vertigo a little bit isolated, but not really taking much damage. She's found herself with the back of the Junkrat in front of her and will get that kill with the help of Jelly Doodle Symmetra. They do lose Assassin, but now they've lost the main tank on the side of TMC. So this is going to be a struggle for them to push through, you'd have to say. And yeah, shown there in the kill feed, Jelly Doodle with the microwave beam just going to clean them up. Overtime ticking down, and Enigma with a dominant performance on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, the inability to confirm the kill on Vertigo there was kind of sealed the fate on the last match. Like, you're coming into a fight with your Zarya on, what, like 20 charge or something I saw, and Vertigo being on, like, 99. Coming into the fight, and the DPS output is just such a big difference. Oh, this...
Hey, nano boosted as well over the top.
Oh, that's sturdy. Where was... No lamp either. I wonder who.
Well, that's what I was saying. Mole had his attention taken by Jelly Doodle as they came in there, and so he was looking back towards spawn, and then Assassin came over the top. But from that position, the lamp wasn't likely to do much, right? Because the damage all hits the lamp before it hits the team, because the lamp is about.
I mean, yeah, ideally you would have placed it indoors because the barrage was just outward. So it might have done something, but they, like I said, they were turned around by the time the Pharaoh was coming inside, and they were still the back door.
Yeah,
trying to come
exactly.
in. So.
And then this kind of got cleaned up as they came through. So yeah, a tough one for TMC there. It has to be said. Enigma looking pretty well put together on Lijiang Tower. We can confirm two things for you. Firstly, Yurts and Ronan are the same person, and Deadly Kitten is him. So
all right, great stuff. Wow, all the mysteries solved. What can we find out what happened to Air Malaysia Flight 317?
I don't know that Trizzle has the information to that, since he can barely make it into his own matches. But anyway,
Trizzle, please at ZA Overwatch on Twitter. Air Malaysia Flight 317.
So it is going to be Hollywood next year, Defect. If you're coaching TMC as Trizzle does so effectively, what are you saying to them right now after that first map?
I tell them to watch your staggers. There was quite a couple of times where, like, people respawning, coming back into a fight that's already over, and then staggering unnecessarily, and concentrate on your ult usage. So those are the two things the two main things that I want to try and work on. Is try to take fights as a group and try to use ults to win a fight, and not to try and claw back a already lost fight.
Yeah.
There were quite a few like tires and grass and things I saw that were, if they worked out, they would have just equalized already back foot fights. So those are the two things.
That fight on control center at the end there, actually where they started to push out, they kind of just evened a lost fight out as opposed to taking an advantage. So absolutely agree with you there. I think if you're TMC, just focus on getting the basics right. Enigma's kind of on paper stronger team. Just make sure you minimize your mistakes and don't lose because you played poorly. Make Enigma beat you. I think that's what you want to do.
And
so sorry, go for it.
Oh yeah, a lot of times playing against a team that is obviously a few tier spaces above you. It is a great way to see where your cracks are. It doesn't often show if you're scrimming in I have no idea what Thomas War's ranking is, but let's say if you're scrimming at 3k and Enigma scrimming at 4k, often you won't see where your mistakes are as well as scrimming against other 3k teams. Scrimming against 4k teams, they'll show you much more clearly, listen, you're staggering, or your ult usage it's not good. So and these are the things you can look at. So hopefully Trizzle will have a link to the VOD afterwards.
Well, things are already underway here, apparently, which shocks me a little bit. As Blur getting aggressive now on the defense, just looking to put the pressure on. A big anti comes over the top. He looks to jump away, thinks better of it as Assassin gets a quick double kill on both tanks. So immediately Enigma out of the gate with a pretty strong start to this match.
Yeah, immediately, and that was the big anti-nade from Fluffy. Like, you know, obviously one of the better off supports in the country. Knows exactly, like, got both the enemy tanks and his tank in the grenade, and was able to sustain Blur without him needing to jump out. And pause coming out on our side. But yeah, just unpacking that play a bit more. It was very much a case of, you know, playing Winston on defense, especially on like control points or capture points. You want to, like, you know, take a position, hold it as long as you can, especially if you have a hero like Pharah that, like, you know, deals large damage over time. You want to keep that space for your Pharah as best you can, build up a bit of ult charge, and then get out without dying. That's what the jump's for. So the harass from Blur is what turned into an offense. Like, he turned to dive away when the nade came in, and the nade changed that fight from I'm tickling and then giving up space to, oh no wait, we win this. Like, our Pharah got the kill, so their tank line's dead. And he immediately, like, changed tack. The whole team, when that nade landed, changed tack to, oh, we can just, this is no longer a poke. There's a crack in their defense. We can just push. And that's the kind of, like, you know, team decision making. Like, someone probably called it, or either called it, or the team just knows their so well that they immediately go like, hey, look, you know, this is opportunity, and we'll pounce on it. So seeing these kind of, like, opportunistic, like, lunges, like, you know, attacks are what makes an average team a very good team, and adds, like, a lot more than just technical, like, mechanical skill. But here we go again.
And we can think back to the BBA game actually we watched first, where that was something they were doing incredibly well. Was seeing when they had an advantage and then pouncing on it, and Deadly Kitten, unfortunately, does go down here, so immediately a tough start. Vertigo can get rid of him. We haven't seen much Zarya out of Vertigo, but she's valuing it here in this matchup. So I wonder what the reason is they've decided to switch on to the Zarya and off of the D.Va and Sigma, which she was running before.
Double bubble is fun to say.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I've kind of been enjoying her style. She plays a very safe Zarya. She doesn't play like, she's not Sinatra. She's not going to, you know, touch her spawn door. But she'll probably be the last alive. And end up with, like, 1 billion energy and just consistent damage every time, which is kind of what you want from the double bubble comp, because it allows your Winston to be much more fluid and the off tank be the anchor. As we see here, is that the Winston moving forward and then backwards around the Zarya, who is more stable. I say she gets pretty. Oh, sorry.
He also heard you. They just making you look like fools. As the barrage comes down over the top here, Assassin says, "Don't worry, Verdi, I will bail us out of this one." Gets a big pick. That was an animated something. Soldier, yes it was, going up the side. Jelly shoots him right in the back, which I'm sure was not something he was expecting to do from that position, and does clean things up. And now they can get aggressive on the side of Enigma. So TMC struggling to find a chink in Enigma's armor here. So what do you think they need to do a little bit differently here, Defect, if anything?
Look, they're not forcing any mistakes here. They're not putting enough pressure on to force any kind of misplay. I think your best bet here could be to try and, like, Blur is playing fast and loose, but he has the backup to allow for that. So either that, or you need enough pressure to get this Pharah off.
A little bit here again, though, is about that discipline you were saying from Lijiang Tower. You know, that Mercy Mole there didn't need to go down. She shouldn't have been, the hero, shouldn't have been out there in that position. Could have stayed in spawn and waited for the team to regroup and come forward. But looking to overplay a little bit. This is a trap that newer teams kind of can fall into sometimes. You kind of tend to overplay your hero to make up for synergistic errors as Blur gets hyper aggressive here. Gonna back out on just about 300 HP, so knowing his limits fairly well. But TMC now all alive, can push forward, but again they've got this barrage to deal with now into the Graviton Surge. 4K, gonna clean up the rest. Here is Assassin with the help of Blur. The DPS, the Dobby there, just giving up on life, and unfortunately, TMC struggling to push through.
Yeah, with 18 seconds on the clock, I think now is the best opportunity they've had so far, looking at the ult charges. But then again, like, you know, they're getting so far ahead and taking so much pressure from the Pharaoh.
Blur. Oh, so close to getting that pick. Nice work from Shadow. He gets the kill. There was an ultimate on the front line now. Can they get the touch into point?
No!
Ooh, they can't.
Oh!
They opened it up. They found a chink. They twisted the knife, but it was just a little bit too late.
Yeah, that's just unlucky. I think I can't strategize that except like point awareness, guys. Like,
yeah.
I think there was enough opportunity for either of the tanks to touch point without dying. So I mean, it happens, like, you know,
yeah,
especially in matches like these where you have to give 110 just to like match the mechanical and like, synergistic skill of the other team. Like the momentum carries you through. You're looking for. You're looking at the enemy team and not the objective. You're like, what? We're winning now. We got a visor off. We killed 2, and Blur got caught. What? How do we lose this fight? Because we've been losing all the other fights. Like, is there Anna that's gonna nade 6, or you know, is there a
barrage coming from somewhere?
A barrage gonna land from the heavens? Exactly. So I feel like people concentrate a bit much on how you lose this when actually the fact that how you lose this is you not pushing W.
You just lose. Yeah. The round just ends. Yeah, for sure. I think the point you mentioned about as we lose 2 of our players here simultaneously, very cool. The point you mentioned about kind of having to give 110% and then you lose something else somewhere, you know. If we think about percentages in practical terms, 100% is the max. So if you're giving more somewhere, you're losing somewhere else.
Yes.
And sometimes that focus can be just to lose you out a little bit there. But it kind of shows TMC that they can win team fights, because I think they had that team fight pretty well in the bag. And it's just a question of don't lose your head. Just keep the focus. Keep thinking about, I'm not sure who the leader is in this team, but just remind the team, like, how do you win the next team fight? How do you win? How do you cap this point? And what they ended up doing there, whether planned or not, was bank a bunch of ultis and use them to punch through. Yeah.
Especially after Enigma used most of theirs. They had 1 ult coming into the last fight, which I think was Jelly Doodle's visor, and he lost the visor 1v1 to Shadow. So yeah, those are your opportunities. Like, you need to be aware of, you know, the mistakes, or at least the opportunities afforded to you. It might not be a mistake per se, but the opportunity comes along. You have more ults. What do you do? And in this case, you know, C9 the point's not the right answer.
Yeah, probably. I'd argue that that's probably never the right answer. Just lose, actually. I think that's the right play here.
Yeah.
We are just waiting for Yurts and who's it on the other team? Assassin. Not quite sure what happened there. So yeah, it's unfortunate. So TMC, I think they have the benefit of a dedicated coach, right, in the form of Trizzle. And I know Trizzle is watching here on his data or whatever, since he has no power in his actual home.
Wow, that's very Africa out here.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's a lot you can take away from this. And I think the point you made earlier about higher level teams will show you where your weaknesses are, whereas mid-level or evenly matched teams won't really give you the same, always give you make your mistakes so obvious to see. So hopefully that's the takeaway here. And TMC have had a tough day today already. They've already lost to BBA, which I think is a team I'd love to see go up against Enigma. They're kind of on that same level. So there's a lot that TMC can take away from today and learn from today. Are these people brothers? Why did they disconnect and reconnect at the same time? That's super weird.
That's very dodgy, yes. I can't answer you this. But yeah, no, look, I think today is a big win for Thomas More. Not because they won any matches, but because they're getting bots. They're getting replay codes. Yeah, and I think Papa Trizzle will have to go sit down and watch a few games, and obviously he'll have a much more in-depth analysis than you and I, son, who's seeing this live and having to comment on it.
Yeah.
He can go back and rewatch plays over and over. Valuable input for the team, and a team like this that can grow a lot. There's moments of brilliance, which is the very least you need.
Yeah.
You've played against teams like this and they just get spawn camped for 5 minutes. Then there's nothing much you can do. But I think there's stuff to work with here.
Oh, nice hook in here from Rail. I think of Road. Sorry, I'm a little bit ahead here. Back in real time, nice hook from Rail. If you think Rail, you think of the Roadhog, but unfortunately he goes down there. Jelly finds that pick. Assassin drops low, but won't be taken down now as Blur in the back line here blocks the rocket barrage there, or the rockets as the soldier tries to get through onto point, but so many players of TMC dropping on the point already. Not able to pick up any kills here, and that's going to be it for map 2. Enigma just too strong on the day.
Yeah, it was a pretty clean engage, and again, you see where opportunities not capitalized upon. Like Assassin goes low, but there's no one who can follow up. But we'll give Shadow. I think this was the last play on attack.
Yeah, look at that.
His visor play was pretty cool.
Very cool, actually. Glad to see that they get something out of this, even if it's just to play the game. Because that was quite a dominant performance from Enigma.
Yeah. But I think a good learning experience for Thomas Boy, and I hope we'll get to see them level up from all this XP.
Yeah, and this is, they haven't lost yet, but if they do lose here, that's 4th place in a tournament, which is better than I ever did in my career. So you can take that to the bank, TMC. Not that I was particularly successful, but still, I mean, it's something you can always lean on and be like, no matter the context or circumstances,
exactly.
4th place in a tournament is very cool.
Yeah, it's nothing to sneeze at. So they're the only team to lose a match and make it through to play another one. Single though.
Still the landings all over the place if you're looking for them. But no, I think the bigger takeaway here is that you are learning so much from this. You don't often get the opportunity to play against top teams in competition formats, so this is one that teams he can really take home and learn from, and it's something that you and I, Defect, we've been on many losing outfits in our careers individually, and it never feels great getting poo-pooed on by a better squad, but you can always the real strength is learning from it.
Yes, and I have a feeling that in this case, Thomas were being school children and having a dedicated coach, those two things, they're much better equipped to learn from a loss than to take it on the morale.
Yeah.
There are teams who go into games like these or tournaments like these expecting to win and then getting their ass beat, and then you have to tank it with your morale. You're like your whole squad will be we'll
be down.
We'll be down and sad and stuff. Where things like that.
There's nothing that ruins a team faster than losing a game you should be winning.
Yeah. You have to tell your team. I've told every team I've been in, like, one day we're gonna get upset. And not in a good way. One day we're gonna lose a match against a team that we had no business losing against. Yeah. And that's gonna be the hardest challenge. But prepare yourself right now.
Yeah. So it is going to be Hanamura up next, guys. 3rd map of the series here. Enigma so far looking uncontested for the most part. Got another pause here in Hanamura, but that gives us more time to talk about these things. If you like what you're seeing, guys, local Overwatch tournaments and all that jazz, there will be more coming this year. I can assure you of that. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So keep your eyes on the @ZA Overwatch Twitter for information about upcoming tournaments and stuff. If you'd either like to take part or it in soon, but that is a feature that we have of our broadcasts. So if you want to make your voice heard outside of the Twitch chat and actually get your stuff on stream, then that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and just for the record, the opinions that make it onto the tweet stream are correct. The ones in chat are debatable.
Yeah, we actually run every tweet through an AI, which runs it against a field of other opinions that are related, and they are objectively correct, the ones that show up on the stream. So, yeah, between Defect and ourselves, we are gainfully employed software developers. I'm not, so between us, one of us is.
I am actually between jobs at the moment as well. So
Fair enough. Not to put a sour note on things, but anyways. Oh, Shadow here on the Junkrat. Going to be starting off here. Nice work from him. He gets a couple of picks here. Forcing Enigma back. Oh, does the res come through? It does, but not before Mercy loses her life. So Z-Time will be contributing anything else now. Vertigo going to make her way over the wall there, but Blur's done the opposite. He said, no, it's go in time, not get out time now. But so far, this fight is still kind of ongoing. A long drawn-out fight. The Shadow looks to find that pick on the Ana. Now under pressure, all of a sudden, a flurry of kills for Enigma, and that is likely to be there for the first point. Not capped yet, though. Still a pesky May here. An ice block on the point. Get your whiskey ready for the ice blocks. No, there's a better joke there.
There's something there, but keep workshopping it.
Yeah. We'll come back to that one in the next game. Next time on one cast, this derby does end up going down in the end. Unfortunate there, but signs of life for Shadow and the crew.
Yeah, I feel like if there was any amount more pressure on Blur, that fight would have gone the other way. It was pretty clean up, but Blur just has this thing of he rolls through the backline and he takes 100 shield damage. I don't know if there's not enough mousepad room for Thomas Moore to turn around in time, but or there's like an object permanence issue. But as soon as he rolls past the front line, they're just like, So
I like the idea that can't see him, he stops existing completely. Out of sight, out of mind here, as TMC struggling to hold on to this point. 5 minutes on the clock here for Enigma as they do complete that second point cap. So pretty strong push through for the boys in purple, and they will look to hold them off on their own defense.
Yeah, I'm hoping Thomas Moore is able to crack the point, either of them, and at least put up a time. But 5 minutes is a healthy time bank. In fact, that is more than you start with.
That is more than you start with. That is very true.
So that's always a big oof. And I feel it comes down to this, like, the aggression from Blur is not being addressed at all. He rolls through 2 or 3 times before, even in fights where they ignore him, they kill the rest of his team, and he's like, cool, I'm gonna go eat 2 megas in the back, and then I'm back.
Yeah.
And you cannot stop me. So I'm hoping like maybe a Sombra could be the answer here. I like the Junkrat pick. I think if there was like a better placed trap and a bit more focus on the big boy tank, then that could have worked well, especially considering how much charge a Junkrat gets and how pretty good his ult is.
Yeah.
So
with no Reinhardt in the game, there's no one to just delete it in a matter of moments. So I agree. I think I like the if you're not gonna try and like nail down some of your basics on TMC, and I'm not saying that's what they're not doing, but an alternative to that is just try and get creative with it and see what sticks against a better squad. If you can unsettle some teams, and Enigma especially have shown this, if you can unsettle them, you can sometimes pick up a map or two that they're not expecting. We saw that a little bit from Overtime earlier on in the day, and I think I know I was chatting to Kay, and she said you can take a lot of solace from that. A team that is not quite as high up in the standings, relatively speaking, as Enigma, taking a map of them gives a lot of hope to some of the younger teams. There we go. No, that's bad. Assassin JDP gets the pick onto Shadow there. He finds onto Derby over the top as well, and Enigma are going to force TMC back a little bit here.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Assassin also, as soon as the Dobby and the Pharaoh went in behind him, he was just like, okay, I'll let Jelly deal with it. I'm just going to look forward and see if I can kill this Ana. And he does, so there's that.
Does indeed, as Blur pumps the damage on through the point here, looking to just pressure them back, make sure TMC has second thoughts about coming in here. Oh, dropping low there was, I think, Assassin on the front line. So TMC are making a game out of this so far, but struggling to find an angle to get in here. Oh, dropping low on the front line, the huge lamp. But they have lost Yurts now, but they do finally get Vertigo on the front line. But the res is forthcoming, so no permanent kills yet for our blue squad, and in fact now both tanks will go down. Dobby soon to follow. They've made their way onto point, but there's enough of a presence here for Enigma to force them back.
And I also love the fluffy cam that we had for that fight. It's such a good vantage point, and it's just putting on a how-to of Baptiste for anyone to watch. I know me and myself playing about a punch support, not that comfortable on the Baptiste. But watching him makes me like, oh, that's how you do it. Just stringing it all together.
Yeah, makes it look very easy. Probably not that easy to execute as he's presenting it, but he does now sit on the high ground. Fluffy cam once again. We don't get to see enough Fluffy actually, or flex supports in general. We kind of tend to focus on tanks and DPS, but he's making a go of it here. Although I rather would have been on Jelly Doodle this whole time, because he is just cleaning up from the vantage point beside Fluffy. Shadow, then you go down here. Blur will get that final blow as Rail kind of just sits back and moves towards his team. Lots of ults to play with here for Enigma as Team C look to work up towards their own.
I'm starting to question this hard Ryan. That just feels like comfort picks.
Oh, they've got the kill. Oh no, sorry.
No,
I'm can't even the kill feed right anymore.
Wrong way around. There's no cleanse for the Reinhardt. There's nothing to eat the dynamites. There's nothing to stop the burning. There's nothing to let him tank better like a Zarya bubble. And the Ryan isn't creating opportunities for the Roadhog the way Orisa does. So I don't know what the game plan is supposed to be. I don't know if it's shield break. I think D.Va has about comparable shield break to Roadhog anyway.
Yeah.
If you function in reload. So
it's I think it is just comfort picks, right? Like I said, I know Rail's quite comfortable on this Roadhog, and you kind of want to give yourself the best opportunity to make things work, and that's just to put yourselves on your best heroes. And I wonder if TMC work around. Oh my god!
Oh no!
Jeez, Dobby executed there by Assassin JDB. I wonder if they're working around Rail's Roto quite a lot in practice, and it's getting a little bit more success, but. Yeah, struggling to find value out of it here is Jeludal just pumping in damage. You see how aggressively Assassin is positioned. They're feeling super comfortable in Enigma, and the clock ticking down here. 2 seconds left. It's going to be it for TMC. Enigma will take third place here in the Mettlestate Overwatch August Cup. A strong performance from the end, but perhaps not as strong as they might have been hoping, but unfortunately coming against Beastie Boys, who are just looking like the team to beat in South African Overwatch these days.
Both Beastie Boys, in fact.
Yeah, true. But Enigma only played one of them, but yeah.
Okay. But the other two Beastie Boys scene. I love to see a Enigma versus Beastie Boys.
Yeah, I agree.
The second squad. So
I completely agree with that. So Defect, that kind of brings our day to an end here. It's been a pleasure casting alongside you and covering this tournament. Before I let you go, why don't you give me your play of this match?
It's ready to go. I like it. I've saw a lot of good I like the Zarya with a more conservative play. I'm going to play safe, I'm going to pump out damage instead of I'm going to be a DPS and touch your spawn door. I really like the style. I think she plays very well with Blur's Monkey. She enables Blur to be the very skirmishy Winston he likes to play. So I think that she might not have been the flashiest, headshottiest gamer out there, but I think if they had a different Zarya style, they would have had to play a different comp.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I think obviously all of Enigma were kind of struggled to stand out in that game just because they were so in control. But yeah, Vertigo, I'm always happy to give Vertigo player of the match. as a fellow off tank, you know she's going to be coming on tough times when Overwatch 2 comes out.
Yeah, let her have a couple of play of the matches before she is forced to retire.
Exactly, you know, before her role is completely deleted from the known universe. I'm still salty. I don't know if you can tell the fact I'm still salty about that. Anyways, guys, that has been that. We're not sure who the winner is, but we can be pretty sure it's Beastie Boys.
It's one of them.
Boys team,
it's going to be one of them.
who are going to be taking home the 500 Rand for the first prize here. Second place will be the other Beastie Boys team, and third place we can confirm now is Enigma. So yeah, still that monkey on Enigma's back, Beastie Boys, and that's going to be a rivalry. I think that continues all the way through to the end of the year. So if you want to keep up to date with that rivalry and all the other rivalries going on in South African Overwatch, you guys can follow us on Twitter at ZA Overwatch. All the updates for local Overwatch happen there. You can also head over to our Discord, which you'll find the bot posting in the Twitch chat, hopefully. Otherwise, you can head over to the Twitter. All the information is there as well. Defect, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at defect_ZA on Twitter, or at defect number 0069 on Discord, which is my two most used platforms.
Classic. Great use of your Nitro money there.
Worth every cent.
Yes. We actually have two producers for this last match, both Scars and Peach taking on duties to bring you guys a little bit higher quality. So that's at Scars_gaming on Twitch and on Twitter. Very regular streamer if you want to check him out. And then you've got at the Peach ZA on Twitch. Yeah, I didn't see much Reaper this matchup, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint Choosavania, but it is, Peach and Scars put a lot of work behind the scenes, so please, guys, go give them a ton of love. You don't get to see them here performing on stream, but they're always doing things to improve the quality of the broadcast.
They're doing the hard part.
Yeah, no, we just talk. They actually like sweating the whole time, pressing buttons. If anything ever goes wrong, they have to turn the dials and make sure things get sorted out. So big thanks to them. Big thanks, of course, to Mettlestate for putting on this tournament. Just a one-day cup, 1,000 Rand on the line, but we appreciate it nonetheless. An opportunity to give our team something. The local tweet on once again for those of you who missed it. Blink and you'll miss it. Mm-hmm. That will be that, guys. Keep an eye out on @ZA Overwatch. As I said, there will be announcements coming soon for tournaments that are upcoming. If you want to see more of that, and if you want to get involved, head over to the Discord server where we'll help you find teams if you're looking for teams. Tweet once again. It's all falling apart. Let's get out of here. Thanks so much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next time.